Hey there, Roots of Peace Yogi. Welcome to another practice. Today's super sexy spine is all about just that, your spine. Luna got her actress fee. I'm sure she's gonna bolt wicked soon. But your spine, so we all have this lovely long spine. Luna's got a really long one. And we wanna focus on spine health. So with summer coming around, the word hot and sexy is gonna be out a ton. To me, that means that your health is what makes you sexy and hot. It doesn't matter your weight, anything like that. So I wanted to focus on your spine and the 5 different positions that your spine can do. It's a miraculous thing. So your spine can do flexion, extension, axial flexion, rotation, and lateral flexion, which are things that I just learned. So we had to do 2 takes. The first one I forgot, so this is the second one. Thank goodness I remembered. Anyway, you will need your mat, comfy clothes as usual, and then a block and a bolster. If you don't have these things, you can grab a chair or you can do some of the things we're gonna do seated. We're gonna do some dolphin dives and things like that. So if you don't have these, like I said, like you can do a chair. We're also gonna do this like pencil topper, like circle thingy that, yeah, you can totally do it seated. That's fine too. So, all right, anyway, grab what you need to grab and I will see you on the other side. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another practice. Luna decided to pop in. No treats. She's probably gonna pop out in like 4 seconds. Do you wanna come? Anyway, all right. We're gonna focus on the practice. Super sexy spine. So today our practice is going to involve a lot of things that we normally do in my videos, but we're highly focusing on the spine. Luna's slamming up my fingers. And so we're going to cover the 5 different motions that your spine can do and really working into those to make sure that your spine stays flexible and healthy throughout the rest of your life, because I'm learning, I knew this, but the spine is pretty important. So we're going to start in half corpse pose, and we're going to do some pelvic tilts just to warm things up. So starting from the base of your spine where your sacrum is. So you're going to inhale to arch so that your pelvis drops down, but your spine is arching the opposite way so that you're creating some extension and you're a little bit of space between the back and the mat. And as you exhale, you're going to press the ground away and tucking your tail just a little bit. So your hips stay down for this. Inhale to arch, exhale to flatten. A lot of times in my live classes when I do these, people are pushing up into bridge pose and your pelvic tilts, your pelvis is on the floor the whole time. So you're arching on the inhale and then tucking on the exhale, pushing the mat away. So let's do 2 more of these just to feel into our spine and our pelvis a little bit. And now we're going to turn this into 4-part moving bridge. First 2 parts you got down. Part 1 is the arch. Part 2 is the flatten. Part 3 is the bridge. So now we're moving into an extension of the spine where we're arching backwards and curving it. And then exhale to lower back down. So inhale to arch. Exhale to flatten, push into bridge. So when you do extension of the spine, you're lengthening, but you're also doing like a back bend, and we'll go over it a little bit more. Exhale to lower back down when we do some other moves. And you can add your arms in if your shoulders need some mobility, some love. Maybe you need to move some stress out of your body today. I feel like that's my story every day. It's fine. My husband asked me last night, he's like, what are you so stressed about all the time? And I'm like, I don't know, like I'm just kind of like addicted to it. It's fine. We go through these cycles in our lives. I feel like where it's just chaos and then it's calm. So let's take 1 more. Perfect. Now you're going to come down, bring your knees into your chest. You're going to tee your arms out to the side. You want space for your knees. And we're just going to do 2 knee twist. So you can take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow your knees to fall off to the right. And maybe they land on the ground, maybe they don't. Maybe one is floating like mine. But so you're in this 2 knee twist. So this is, we did extension, for movement 1 of the spine. This would be movement 2, your rotation or your twisting. And we do a lot of these in yoga. I'm a big fan of twists. I'm gonna hold here for 2 more breaths. This is a good way to squeeze and soak your organs too. So inhale to come back to center, and then exhale, drop the knees off to the left. Your gaze can be up at the sky, or maybe it's dropped off to the right, just to increase the rotation in the spine a little bit. There's a fly in here if you hear random buzzing. It's finally nice enough that I don't have to wear layers and layers and layers in my little yoga studio at home. It's quite nice. I kind of don't know how to act. Make sure you're getting into your belly breaths so that you can expand and contract the body, continuing to move blood around. Inhale to come back up to center, and now doing some rock and rolls to, again, get that blood flow in the spine and soothe your nervous system, which is in your spine. Your central nervous system is, your spine helps that out a ton. And your spine is your communication highway, which I've said before. So you can come up, and we're going to take boat pose because this is another good one for your spine. So legs can be bent, arms can be out to the side. Maybe you straighten your legs. We're going to hold for 2. But it's your communication highway. So it's the messenger between your brain and your body. So it's very important that it's working properly because it tells your legs to move and lots of other things. You can drop out of your boat pose. And now we're going to move into tabletop. So we're going to stay in tabletop just like this. They also call it quadruped. Oh my gosh, quadruped plank. I forgot the word plank. I've been losing words lately. I hope I find them all. Anyway, so quadruped plank is a little less harsh than plank. So especially as you start to lose strength in the body as you age, or maybe you have been injured before, this is a good way to start because my core is still engaged, my tummy muscles are still tucked. I can still feel my back core firing up and supporting everything. So we're gonna hold here for 2 more breaths. But yes, a strong spine is very important so that your brain can continue to send messages down your spine and throughout your body. We're gonna move into cat-cows now. So extension would be your cow, and then flexion, which we haven't talked about, that's the third one, would be your cat. So moving with your breath, inhale for your cow, exhale for your cat, and stay with your breathing as you go. So the flexion of the spine is when you're kind of rounding, when we get into our forward folds where we're bending towards the floor. And a lot of us, especially now in these times of our culture where things are so technical, we're in flexion a lot because we're texting or we're typing or we're sitting at a desk. And so if your day has a lot of spine flexion in it, it's important to counter that at the end of the day or the beginning of the day with an extension. So back bends, cactus arms, things like that, so that you're countering how you've spent most of your time. Let's take one more. You can drop back to tabletop. So you're going to build the yogi ramp. And if you don't have the props to build the yogi ramp, you can do these seated, just in crisscross applesauce. It's not quite, you can't move quite as well, but that is okay. Otherwise, you can just grab a chair. So if you don't have your props for the yogi ramp, find a chair. You can sit on the edge of your couch, anything like that. You just kind of need a hard surface. So yogi ramp, chair, floor is okay. It's just, you want to be up a little bit so you can move. We're going to start with dolphin dives, which is more flexion and extension of the spine, but it's bigger than your cat-cows. So take a deep breath in. And then exhale to dive down into the water, flexing through the spine. Inhale, extension, up you go. And then exhale back down into the water. Drop on the in-breath. So we're moving through the spine, thinking about how it functions. And the cool thing about when we actually focus on our spine is our brain isn't focusing on the stressors that are rattling around up there, which means, to me anyway, that if your brain isn't stressed out and it's focused on something else, it's not sending stress signals down your spine and your body everywhere, freaking you out, which is the story of my life a lot of the time. Let's take one more. So when we do these practices and we take our focus down into the body on a specific part or the whole body, it helps soothe the nervous system, again, because we're telling the mind a spot to focus on instead of letting it like run all willy-nilly like mine likes to do. This next one we're gonna do, I'm gonna call them pencil toppers. They're just like spinal circles. This was in a webinar I did a while ago. So you're just gonna start to go in a circle and imagining that there's a pencil lead on the top of your head and you're trying to draw a circle on the ceiling. So you're staying nice and upright. You don't want to like hunch or anything. You're trying to keep a neutral spine, and then you're just circling from the hips. So my head's staying up, but I'm just circling around. Fun fact, a little gross, but fun fact, if you suffer from mild constipation, this can help you out. If it's chronic, it probably won't help you out. Switch directions, go the other way. But yeah, if you get a little stopped up, maybe give these a shot. Drink some hot water, you know, these things can help move things along, which is what we want. We want our bodies to function how they're supposed to by human standards, not by cultural standards. Like we can't talk about going to the bathroom, it's frowned upon. But these are things that should be talked about and they should just be a part of everyday discussion. I'm sorry if some of you think that's weird, but it's how I roll. One more circle. And we'll come back upright. You can move your props off to the side and then land back in your tabletop or your quadruped plank, which is, it just sounds cooler than tabletop. Let's step to high plank and then we'll take down dog, which is another great one for the spine. You are lengthening here, separating your vertebrae. Your vertebra. I still don't know the right way to say it. Anyway, you are born with 33 vertebrae. And sometime, like when you hit 30, they count backwards and then you only have 24 to 26, which I found very interesting because your certain vertebrae in your sacrum fuse together, which is kind of cool.